Hello, friends. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. So this reading is going to be the breakup spread. It's a 4-card reading, kind of going over what led to the breakup, how your ex is feeling, how you're feeling, and where to go from there. And then I also will include a oracle card from the Alice in Wonderland oracle deck, which is really, really cool. There's really some really nice images here. So I've laid them out. There's 3 readings, obviously. Take your time to tune into the card that you want for the reading that you want. And then we'll go from there. All right, let's get started. All right, let's go for reading number 1 here. If this is the card you chose, it's called, or it says it's always tea time. And then we will kind of look into that afterwards. I like to kind of see how it ties into the reading. So I'll do it after. And as usual, I've shuffled up my deck and cleared my cards and set them out. So I won't need to do that again. So here we have this like a basic cross spread here. So we have number 1. This is going to represent what led to the breakup. Number 2 over here is your feelings. Number 3 over here is their feelings about it. And then number 4 is action you can take going forward. All right, I think they're all in there. Yeah. It's hard to get the cross spreads all the way in the frame there. All right, so let's get started. Number 1, what led to the breakup? And we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So the Queen of Pentacles in the reversed position will talk to insecurities, jealousies. It can talk to being materialistic, unfulfilled expectations, like maybe too high expectations. So to me, this, I don't know, it seems pretty clear to me. It looks like there is some insecurity going on as to what happened for the breakup. Maybe there was some infidelity, or there was, or just suspicions of that. Somebody couldn't get it out of their mind, and it just, the relationship just couldn't sustain it. So, yeah, to me, this is saying that there was some jealousy somewhere, and the relationship just couldn't handle it. So, yeah. I guess we can move on to the next card. To me, that was seems pretty cut and dry there. Not a whole lot more to kind of say about that one. This can also talk to being, as I say, there's not much more to say about it, and then I start talking about it more. This can also speak to being selfish too. So if maybe one or both parties were acting in a selfish manner, maybe this insecurity led to selfish actions, and that is something which also contributed. So it seems like there was maybe some unfulfilled expectations. I think I said that already. And then maybe the insecurity started, and then that's maybe led to some selfish, maybe not in that order, but I feel like there are some elements of all of these little things that kind of just, the relationship was just over at that point. So, okay, so let's move on to card number 2, which is representing how your ex is feeling. Oops. And here we have the World in reverse. So in the upright, I would say, oh, well, this person's feeling quite good at the moment. But with this card in reverse, I feel like that's not, that they're not feeling that great about what's happening at the moment. The world in reverse can speak to lack of closure, incomplete, feeling of being incomplete, emptiness, lack of achievement. So it really feels like this person is still looking for an explanation as to what happened, and they don't feel like there's been a lot of closure. So I don't know if there is insecurities on both parts, and there was just not a lot of discussions being had. Or maybe there is some big blowout and everybody just stopped talking and that was it. But yeah, this person seems to be like they're looking for some kind of closure with this and they don't quite understand what happened. So yeah, as far as this card goes, it tells me that this person is still kind of stuck in this feeling. Perhaps it's really fresh. So they may be okay with just moving on. And perhaps not. So I guess time will tell as to whether there will be conversations had for closing this out, or we'll see what the rest of the cards say. But yeah, lack of closure here, unsure of what is happening, and yeah, this is a general displeasure in my opinion. Yeah, okay, so let's see, go to card number 3 for your feelings. Well, this is really interesting. So here we have the Eight of Swords upside down, and it's funny because all of these cards are upside down, which to me, when talking about a breakup, seems pretty normal, honestly, because you know, if there's some sort of upset, some sort of rupture or break, yeah, that makes a lot of sense that the energy would be blocked, as it's like probably stopped and there's nothing else happening at the moment. Everybody's just kind of stuck where they are, except for you, I feel like in the situation are feeling liberated, because the Eight of Swords in the upright can talk about a no-win kind of situation, being stuck somewhere, not being able to move forward. And with the reversal, I feel like the opposite is true. This card talks about being, in the reversed sense, talks about a release, of being empowered, of kind of surrendering. It's a new freedom, taking control. So whatever was happening here, this feels like you are empowered to move on. Maybe this was an unhealthy relationship for you, and maybe the other person was blindsided. Perhaps it was the other person who was doing things maybe not a little bit shady, I guess you could say. I don't know, maybe that was, or maybe that was the other person who was suspicious, maybe for no reason, and it was just getting to be too much. And I feel like now you are having a new sense of freedom, and you are feeling good about the situation that you are in control of now. I feel like maybe before there was a little, maybe you were floundering a little bit, and you were unhappy about what was going on. And I feel like that has shifted, and now things are better for you. So if that's the case, it's probably a good thing that the relationship ended. I mean, this is what it seems like to me. It feels like it's good that the relationship ended. It was just getting too much, and maybe there's some element of being, you know, obviously missing your ex, or you know, to that effect. But yeah, I feel like this is saying keep pushing forward. I guess this card will let us know what action can be taken going forward. But I feel like this is a good card for you, and saying, okay, now it's your time. Now you're in control of yourself again. So, and in control of your situation. So that's good. All right, so this is the action that can be, and another reversal. Two of Pentacles. So this is like a really super busy card when upright. In the reversed sense, it's going to mean something just a little bit different. And this card talks about like the reversed kind of taking too many things on and not being able to sort of juggle them all. And it's saying, I think going forward, you need to really prioritize where you're wanting to go, and kind of scale it down, all the things that you've got going on, maybe all the things that are going on in your mind. You feel like that is causing you stress. I feel like moving forward, you need to take the decision as to what's going to happen and move forward with that. Like, I don't know, maybe go back and talk. Doesn't seem by this card that that's what you want to do, or continue moving forward. Like, I feel like this is becoming a stressful situation for you, and this card is saying to like not commit too fast to something, and to kind of I feel like, keep yourself focused on the positive, and the things in your life that are keeping you motivated to go forward. So don't take on too many things, and no quick commitments going forward. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Sometimes the messages get a little bit jumbled up, but yeah, I feel like don't stress yourself out with too many things going on. Keep your focus onto what's moving you forward in a positive way, and no commitments in the near future. I feel like, yeah, it's time for you to take a little bit of time off from that as far as this card is concerned. Okay, so now we will move on to the Oracle card that says it's always tea time. And it says eternity, endless moments, and repetition. So let's see how that kind of ties in here. So this talks about like being stuck in a repetitive cycle, patterns, and yeah, and kind of being trapped by things, and right now is the time to change that. So it kind of seems like that ties in quite nicely to what is going on with you here. So time to rework your traditions and align. What does it say? Reworking traditions so that they are more aligned with the way you see the world. So yeah, it's kind of taking yourself into consideration, and your thoughts and your feelings, and again, no commitments. Don't make any commitments right now, and that you realign with yourself, because it seems like you might not have been doing that, and now you are free to do that. So hopefully that is a situation, because that sounds like you are in a good headspace, and maybe even if you're not, it seems like it was a good thing that happened. It's never obviously a fun thing to have happen, but good can come of that, because sometimes people are just not meant to be together. So yeah, I feel like there is now is the time to make these changes. So I feel like that kind of ties in nicely to what the reading says, and hopefully this has made sense for you, and you can take something from it, and that it's been helpful for you. So please do let me know if you have any more questions. I always try to make clarifications if I can. Or if you've got anything else on your mind, feel free to leave me a comment. I read everything, and I thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, so here we have reading number 2. If this is the card that you chose, it's called Uncertainty, and we will look at that after. I like to see how that ties into the reading. Okay, so what I'm going to do is lay these cards out. This is the reason for the breakup, how your ex is feeling. Number 3, how you are feeling. And number 4, where you can go from here. Okay, I think they're all in there. All right, so let's get started with, push that back a little bit here. What led to the breaking up? All right, so here we've got a reversal of the 7 of Swords. If you can see it. And this card can speak to an unmasking of sorts, kind of like an end of games being played, dropping a pretension. So it kind of seems like there's some lies being told, or untruths, or half-truths, and either could be by both parties. I don't really have a feeling one way or the other. Yes, I do. I feel like it was one party over another, but I don't know which one. So I have to check and see what the other cards say. But yeah, this can talk about people not being truthful, and then their truth, and then it's found out. So either through confession of like a conscience, like somebody had a heavy conscience and they needed to come clean with whatever was going on, and the other person was just like, okay, that's it. I don't want any more of this, and then that's what caused the breakup. And it doesn't sound, obviously it's going to be something of a malicious nature. I would think the most obvious thing would be perhaps a cheating or an infidelity. It seems so common that these kinds of readings come up with these things. It doesn't mean it's that. It could really be a number of things that were lied about. So I'm not going to speculate as to it being that. I'm just saying it could have been that, obviously. But people can tell lies for all sorts of things. And but yeah, okay. So the unmasking, the revealing of true facts came to light, and then the rupture happened. So let's see how the ex is feeling about it. The King of Wands, another reversal. As I said in the last reading, we're all reversals as well. It really does speak to a blocked energy, something which is not moving forward anymore. So which that makes sense if this is, done. There's no more energy being pushed into this relationship. So it makes sense that they're reversals. Doesn't mean that they're all going to be reversals, but it does make sense that there are. And now we have two reversals. So we'll see in the next one, the next card. All right. So here we have for how the ex, I almost said he because it's a king, but heavy masculine energy here. King of Wands, as to how the ex is feeling. So the reversal of this card is heavily associated with a feeling of arrogance. So I don't know if this person feels like now they're in a position, in a good position to, so perhaps they feel that they were the one who was lied to. I don't know, but they feel like they're in the high position here. But this person looks as if they're not feeling humble. They're not feeling bad. They're not feeling. Yeah, this is a person who is kind of stuck in an aggressive, maybe angry state. Perhaps they were always like this. I don't know. As just yeah, this talks about being like kind of domineering and dominating. But as far as feelings go, I feel like it's saying that this person is feeling like not happy, not but aggressive, like angry. So yeah, that's not always obviously not a good place to be in. Not going to speculate as to why, because sometimes people do things to other people and they still feel aggressive and arrogant about it. So I'm not going to assume that it was you who did the lying. I'm not going to assume that it was the other party either. I'm just going to kind of say that this is what the cards say. And as stated, sometimes when people even perpetrate or perpetuate problems or bring about problems or do lie about things or do things that are not good in a relationship, they can still feel that they've done nothing wrong. And this is what I feel like this person is feeling now. They've done nothing wrong. They're totally in the clear and it doesn't matter. So yeah, but as stated, doesn't mean that you did something wrong and doesn't necessarily mean they did something wrong. Really, it's either or. It's for you to determine where that is, where that lies, where it falls. But yeah, that's how that person is feeling. And let's see how you are feeling. Oh, and here we have another swords and in the reversed position. You can see, looks like. So in the upright, that talks about being quarrelsome, lots of arguing, but as far as feelings go, So as far as feelings go on this card, it talks about being confused, miscommunication, being hostile. So I feel like there is arrogance on one side, hostility on the other side. So it does make me feel like something was done to you if you are feeling hostile about this. Yeah, so perhaps it was you who was the person that was being lied to. And there is some element of confusion that comes along with this card. And it's really, not a happy card to be in this headspace right now. So we'll kind of see what this card says, because there's going to be a need to move out of this, because this doesn't feel good. This is like destructive. This, or can become that way if this is where you're staying at. So as I said, this person doesn't look like they really feel all that bad about it, and I feel like here the burden is on you as far as being confused, not understanding. There's miscommunication somewhere, and maybe you wanted to work it out, and that person's just like, oh, whatever. So let's go to this card and see how we can move forward. And here we have one that is in the upright position, which is great. As far as moving forward with this card, I like that this card came in the upright, because to me it really talks about a positive way forward and how to handle kind of what it is that you're going through right now mentally, which does not look good, which is completely normal if this is something that's happened recently. But I feel like the magician is saying, time to get the willpower back, the desire. It talks about manifestation. So positive thinking, bringing to you what you want, instead of being stuck in a place where you just feel utterly destroyed and unhappy. Take control of that and start thinking in a positive manner to move forward. And obviously, you're going to have to work through the feelings to be able to do that. That's clear, and obviously easier said than done. But to bring about a positive change for you, to move out of this headspace from this card, the desire obviously needs to be there, so it'll probably be job number one. And then the willpower not to go back or turn around and ask why, and these kinds of things. You don't need to go back. It doesn't matter anymore. Just moving forward and then bringing about the positive change that you want, and bringing to you like as in manifestation, bringing to you what you would like to have in your life and around you. And that's something that we can all do. Light a candle, imagine all the good things that you want for your life coming to you. And do it a little bit every day, 5 minutes. That's all it takes. And really that can help to bring forth a positive change. It may be slow, and that's okay. These kinds of things don't always happen very quickly. But so this is what you can do going forward. And then let's talk about this card here. This is the oracle card that came with your reading. It's uncertainty. And it says, choose who you will become. So that's already interesting, because we were just talking about manifestation as to what we want to bring to us to be what we want to have around us, to be successful and happy. So let's see what the rest of the meaning of this card is here. So this is interesting because we were talking about moving forward. And this talks about good advice coming from an unexpected place. So to be open to whatever advice you may be receiving, good advice, anyways. And it says you need to practice and be willing to make mistakes, and then you will become more powerful, and you will reach the place that you are wanting to be. So obviously, that really ties into actions that can be taken on your part, and it's just saying You know, it's okay to make mistakes along the way and learn from them. Obviously, we all have to make mistakes. That's how we learn. And so keep moving forward, and you will get to where you want to be, and you will get out of this headspace, if in fact that is how you're feeling at this moment. Keep pushing forward. So, okay, that was an interesting reading. I hope that it made sense and has helped in some small way for you. And, you know, feel free to leave me any comments as to how you're feeling, or if this made sense for you. I always like to hear what you have on your mind. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, so here we are for a reading number 3. This is the card you chose. It says, all must have prizes. So we will look into the meaning of that and how it ties into the reading after. As usual, I always shuffle and clear my decks before laying out the cards for each reading. So I don't have to do that now. Anyways, okay, so number 1 is what led to the breakup. And number 2 is how the ex is feeling. Number 3 is how you're feeling. And number 4 is where to go from here. So let's see what led to the breakup. This is an odd pull. It's the Wheel of Fortune and in the upright position. So this is interesting because to me it seems like almost like it was an amicable thing, like there was just the Wheel of Fortune talks about changing seasons, and you know, it does have the element of good and bad, changing cycles, you know, fate, in making decisions. So perhaps this was a decision that was come to because of XYZ. And maybe it was more on the amicable, like maybe one person was moving away, or yeah, that type of thing. So I feel like this was something that was reached, a decision that was reached by both parties. Maybe not for, you know, obviously probably wasn't a happy thing, but it does seem to me that it wasn't anything that was breaking the relationship up, as far as, like, you know, something like someone being deceptive or doing something that they shouldn't be doing. It seems again like a mutual split, if you will. I said amicable, maybe mutual, maybe, yeah. All right, so let's see how the ex is feeling. So here we have the 6 of Wands. So the reversal of this card talks about one feeling negative about themselves and self-doubt, like really like not thinking that they can achieve what they're setting out to achieve. So I don't know if this person's working on like a new endeavor somewhere, doing something that is perhaps that is unknown to them. But this is really somebody who is doubting that they will have any success. So I don't know if this is in relationship to if this is in relation to the relationship or not. Perhaps they've got something going on in their life that they're uncertain about. Perhaps it was the fact that you decided to break up, and they're still doubting that maybe that was the right decision. Either, excuse me for the coughing. Either way, there's this person is feeling doubtful of themselves at the moment. Yeah, so this person seems to not be in a complete good headspace at the time. Yeah, so interesting. And let's see how you're feeling. This is the Queen of Cups, also in the reverse. As I said, this is the only one so far that's been upright in all of the readings, because generally when we have you know, the reversals, that really speaks to the energy which is being blocked. There's no more energy being put into the relationship, but with this card, this is the only one that's been upright in all of the readings. As I said, I feel like it was a mutual thing. And then this also talks about this person feeling unloved and neglected and being overlooked. So I don't know if that is as I said, mutual, but maybe not so mutual. I don't know, maybe one person decided it over the other one, the other person agreed, or maybe there was some circumstance that led to that happening. But for whatever reason, this person is feeling not super good. And the Queen of Cups also in reverse. So this kind of talks about somebody, maybe you're feeling a little bit dependent at the moment, maybe a little bit oversensitive, kind of overthinking things, which makes me think that maybe this was the person who has the thing that they need to do that caused the breakup. And maybe you were the one who was like, okay, yeah, we can't maybe go further with that for whatever reason that it was. Yeah, and this talks about maybe your side was putting a little bit more effort into it than that person was, and this person still feels like they are not comfortable completely with the decision, and you're feeling quite insecure at the time as well. Yeah, so this this can also reflect that your mind is wandering a little bit too far, and not to let it run away with itself. Like, you know, don't imagine too many scenarios. You're kind of still stuck in this headspace here, where you're kind of giving a lot of mental space to whatever the scenario is at this time. So not a very fun place to be in, but let's see what this card says on how we can move forward. And here we have another upright, which is great. For a way to move forward. The Nine of Pentacles is really talking about focusing on yourself and working on things that you like to do. And this talks about being self-sufficient and getting to a place where you are independent, which kind of plays into this card, I feel like, because now it's saying that you are not maybe mentally ready, and you're still kind of like maybe clinging on to the relationship a little bit. But this is saying that the best thing to do to move forward is to become more independent, and that means like focusing on yourself, on things that make you happy, on things getting back to what maybe what you were doing before this relationship was going on, and just working on you right now. And through doing that, you will absolutely be successful in regaining your independence. Not saying you're dependent on anybody, just kind of in the way of thinking. Sometimes after a breakup, we feel like, oh, wait, I'm alone again. And yeah, and that's not always a happy headspace, which is kind of what this card is saying. So I feel like it's just saying kind of to regain your headspace of being an independent person, and remembering all the things that you love about doing things on your own. Maybe the other person didn't like, that you can do again. So yeah, and this is all about being successful on your own, and you can do that by concentrating on your likes and interests again, if that's something that maybe you neglected. Or even if it wasn't something you neglected, maybe it's something you continue to do. But the thing is now, it's really a time to focus on that, to be to also take relaxation time out for yourself as well, and to get back into a happy spot. It will happen for you. And let's see how this kind of ties in this card. It says all must have prizes. So it says trying to please everyone. So let's see how this ties in. I'm going to have a look in the book for the meaning of this card. So this card talks about not do not worry about pleasing other people, that you need to not try to keep everybody happy all the time. It says not to reward people who haven't put in the hard work, which really does harken back to this card for me, because it says that this person was putting in more effort than this person maybe was. And maybe they were being rewarded for work that they weren't doing. And so it says this is a card that's telling you that you need to be fair to yourself and choose the best thing for you moving forward, which does also tie into this card too, as far as moving forward, getting back to yourself again. Says not to avoid making difficult decisions. Don't avoid making difficult decisions to avoid disappointing other people. So that's kind of interesting, and it does seem to tie in here, and hopefully it makes sense for you. I always hope that these readings are making sense for people. So far, I haven't gotten a ton of feedback as to how if these are resonating with anybody, but I'm just going to keep going forward anyways, because it's something I enjoy. But anyways, hopefully this has made sense for you and has helped you out in a small way, or at the very least it's been interesting to listen to. Do let me know in the comments if you're so inclined, if you have anything, any feelings or thoughts or whatever. Please do leave them in the comments. I always appreciate the interaction, and I really read everything and respond to everything. And I thank you so much for being here, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.